The gearbox, and now my colleague is going to remove the flywheel, so to gain access to the rear main seal. And yeah, the gearbox is really heavy on these engines, on these cars, so if you are by yourself you are not going to be able to do it. You're going to need at least 2 or 3 people. And yeah, this is how you gain access to the rear main seal. Let's see how it looks. It looks dry.
Отгоре сякаш стича.
Yeah, maybe the main reason for this was the intake manifold, because it had.
Виж, сякаш те отгоре са изтичало. Поне на мен те много ми изглежда.
Yeah, maybe it was coming from the top. And actually the rocker cover is dry. And the biggest suspicion is the intake manifold gaskets, because they were like a plastic. But still, we are still at this point, and we're going to change it because it's a lot of work, and it's going to be really stupid if we not change it right now. So to be sure that it's not going to leak. But yeah, probably the biggest concern was from the intake manifold, the biggest leak. Not sure about here, because there is a gasket behind. But either way, we're going to change it. So the gearbox is installed back in place. The rear crankshaft seal is changed. Then the only important torque specs for this job is the flywheel torque spec. Once again, I was not here and I didn't record it, but the torque spec for the flywheel bolts, which they are 8 bolts, and it is 120 Newton meters. And yeah, we are now getting ready everything, so to assemble back the gearbox, and after that we're going to continue with the oil pan, which is already cleaned. We already changed the O-ring on the oil suction pipe, which is a brand new original O-ring, and I don't believe you're going to be able to find this aftermarket, so, and it's not so expensive, it doesn't worth it. So yeah, we're going to change the engine bushings before we install the front subframe. Mehmet decided that he wants to change the bushing, which never fails, which is where? Yeah, the gearbox bushing, which I think I'm going to use on my car.
Use it.
I have never seen this bushing to fail, but he decided to change it. And this is how the cleaned up oil pan looks like. As you can see, my colleague removed pretty much all the debris, so all the old oil and everything. He degreased it outside, so pretty much the oil pan is ready to be installed, because like that it's going to be much more easy to see if we have some problem after time. So a little bit of update. I have missed some steps for recording because we had a lot of job, but the oil pan is installed with the new transmission cooler, which is right here. As I told you, we changed the O-rings for the oil cooler lines on the both sides of it here, and on the oil cooler side we have installed the new engine bushings on the both sides. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it here. And yeah, we changed this rubber bushings for the hydraulic lines. There is one here and one here. On all of E60s they get bent and broke down. I'm going to show you one of it. This is one which we removed, and pretty much if you check yours, probably they're going to look like this. Actually, I'm not sure if BMW is selling those brand new, but I'm buying it from a local shop. Yeah, this is one of them, how they look like, but we use different, a little bit higher than this, but I believe this was for E39, this was fitting for E39 nicely, but on E60 is the more higher one. As we can see here, it's a little bit higher than the other one, but yeah, it's going to hold hopefully for a few years. And yeah, Mehmet has some aftermarket thingy on his oil pan drain plug. So this is a temperature sensor for the engine oil. Maybe later I'm going to show you how it looks like inside the car. And yeah, we have installed an exhaust system. As you can see, Mehmet doesn't have a lot of mufflers, so he goes straight to there without any muffler. He has only one catalytic converter, and yeah, straight line from there. But still the car is not so loud actually. We have installed the transmission. When we start up the car, we're going to check the transmission level fluid, because we have drained probably close to liter from the oil cooler and the oil lines. Probably it's going to be close to liter, so we're going to need to top it up. And what else? Now we're going to start probably with the cooling system. We're going to change all the hoses which Mehmet bought, and of course the coolant radiator, and yeah, the water pump and the thermostat. And yeah, probably after that we're going to continue with the injectors and the other stuff.
Big one here.
Yeah, probably how much? 4 or 5 hoses. Yeah, this is underneath the intake manifold.
There's a little one.
Yeah, this is for the EGR maybe.
And there's another smaller one somewhere.
Is this original hose there? Oh, it's gates.
This is gates. These are
this is aftermarket, right?
This is aftermarket. These are BMW.
Okay, he took only one aftermarket, but still Gates is a reputable brand, and it's not so cheap Chinese stuff which can fail you. So I don't remember what else we did. Yeah, we actually we serviced the brakes on the front and on the rear. We have changed the guiding. By servicing, I don't mean changing the brake calipers and the brake pads. We service this rubber thingy here, which the guiding pin is moving inside, and of course lubricated everything and cleaned the supports of the brake calipers. And Mehmet decided to buy a new disc covers behind the brake discs, so we changed this brake discs on the both sides. Conveniently enough, on this model, on E60, you don't need to remove the bearing, the hub bearing. So to change this disc covers, you just need to remove the brake disc, and you're going to be able to change the disc covers. On the back, they are still good, and we decided to not change them because they are still in good health, and they are not making some noises. But still, we service the we cleaned up the supports and changed the guides here. So the brake system should be good, because he already changed the brake pads and the brake discs in previously. And right now we are changing the brake fluid. He decided to go with let me show you. He's going to use this high quality racing brake fluid. The most important thing is to be .4, because these cars are supposed to use a .4 brake fluid. So yeah, he decided to go with this. So probably we're going to use probably somewhere around 1 liter. We're going to take out roughly around 250 milliliters from every side. Right now this is from the rear left, so this is probably a little bit more here, or yeah, maybe it's around that. We're going to see.
The thing I like with this method is that it seems to flush at the same time, because I saw him put in new fluid while the vacuum was on.
Yeah,
so it flushes out the old.
Yeah, this is the main thing. Yeah. So yeah, we are using this vacuum pump with compressed. From here it gets compressed air, and it's making vacuum inside this chamber, and is drawing the oiled brake fluid out of it until it gets the new one. And yeah, pretty much this is it. Have put some high quality shocks and studs on this car. Time B40, which is kind of overkill for his driving. Yeah. This is his daily car, and probably is going to be really stiff for a daily, but he decided to do this overkill.
It is.
Because this is more suitable for Nürburgring, not for daily driving, but yeah, he decided to go with this. He has put some aftermarket intercooler. Which brand it was?
Wagner.
So yeah, Wagner is a really reputable intercooler brand for BMWs. Actually, they make a lot of stuff, even for I believe, yeah, they have for M57, 100% sure, because one client has the same. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to continue now with the coolant system, and I'm going to take the camera when we get to some point. So we started working under the inside the engine bay. So we're going to start removing some coolant hoses, which actually we have removed some of them. These are some of them. This is the coolant radiator which we're going to change. Mehmet has bought probably most of the hoses. We had some issue with this bolt which is holding this aluminum pipe. It break down, but still we're probably going to fix this issue next year when he decides to come back once again, because to fix the broken bolt inside we're going to need to remove the turbocharger, which is going to take us some time, but it's not going to cause any issues because it cannot go out from here, because this is holding it in place, and even without bolts this is not going anywhere. So yeah, that broken bolt should be not causing any issues. Okay, so it turns out that we had Mehmet have bought the wrong hose. As we can obviously see, this plastic hose has one end, and ours, which we removed from the car, has two ends. So he bought the wrong hose. Now we're going to search for this one. Hopefully we're going to find it. In the worst case scenario, we're going to install the old one. We have removed the oil filter housing. We cleaned it as good as we could. This is the new engine oil cooler with brand new gasket underneath, and this is the new gasket OEM one from BMW, if I remember right. You bought a brand new OEM gasket here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to reinstall it now, and after that of course we're going to install the new oil filter with the O-rings. Yeah, this is the old one. And yeah, right now probably we're going to start by installing the new injectors, which I showed you. So Mehmet has his own YouTube channel and he's making some.
No, I don't.
Don't lie to us. And yeah, we finally found the right hose, and actually this one is a little bit cheaper than the other one, but yeah, we can continue assembling back together everything. We have installed most of the things: the alternator, the starter motor, the pulleys, yeah, the new water pump, and yeah, I already have installed all of the injectors. Now I need to torque the new nuts. We have put new cup O-rings, new O-rings for the waste fuel here, and now I'm going to torque all of the nuts for 6 of the injectors, and we're going to install the fuel pipes, of course. We installed most of the parts. We have changed pretty much almost all of the vacuum lines, not all of them, but almost all of them. A little bit left here to be changed, but tomorrow I'm going to change them. It turns out that this engine is from E60, which I guess caused us some problems, because interestingly enough, this hose, which is OEM, originally bought from BMW, is too short to be connected to the radiator. And as you can see, especially here, we cannot clamp this here. Yeah, let me take a wipe. Can you take it? Here. As we can see, yeah, it's possible to clamp it, but probably going to break it. So as we can see, it should be like that, but if I put it like that, the radiator is on tension. So this hose is probably a centimeter or two shorter than needed. Probably because Mehmet bought it for E60, but probably it should be from E70.
Yeah.
Because from E70 is a little bit longer, I guess. And that is why it's making a little bit tension. Probably in the next year or some other period of time, he's going to buy from E70, and it's going to fit perfectly in this bracket, plastic bracket here, which we changed it actually, but doesn't matter. As I told you, we find the right hose, but once again, because probably the engine is from E70, this bolt here doesn't align with the original thread of the oil filter housing. And once again, this plastic hose is OEM, it's original hose from BMW, as we can see here. So it's not some aftermarket cheap part. It should be perfectly aligning, but I guess some little bit of difference between the E70 and E60 let's say oil filter housing in this case. Which is not big of a deal. Still, it's not going anywhere because we put some shim here and it's not going anywhere, so it's not cause any issues. It's just looking a little bit ugly, but nobody's going to see it with anything color and everything. What else? Yeah, this is how we're going to leave for now. The EGR cooler, it is blocked from this side, and we're still going to install it because probably Mehmet took the wrong EGR delete kit, because if in perfect situation you're going to want to block the EGR cooler from here. You're going to want to block the EGR here with some backing plate, and you're going to delete this whole piece because can cause you some issues. But doing this, if you remove this, you're going to want to somehow remove these hoses, because if you remove it, the coolant is going to dripping out from the thermostat of the EGR, plus from the exit of the cooler. So you should install some plug here on this hose. And I'm not sure how is looking the EGR delete for the EGR thermostat delete. Probably some plug on this hose is probably going to be disconnected here, and it's going to be installed some plug here. So you're going to block this hose and this hose, and then you're going to be able to remove the EGR cooler, and you're not going to have it. But he's going to see how he's going to do it in future. For now we're going to leave it, and we're going to leave a plug here.
I remember now they put in some aluminium thing here and hose clamp it around and block it.
Yeah, I believe it was like that.
Yeah.
And pretty much this is it. The serpentine belt, so the pulleys for the serpentine belt is changed, just 3 pulleys. As we saw, we did some job on the alternator. And what else? Yeah, he has already a brand new crankshaft pulley, brand new water pump, thermostat housing. So pretty much almost all of the coolant system is going to be serviced, except the cooling reservoir, but he's going to do this probably in the next year. And yeah, all the injectors are installed, as we can see here, with the new O-rings, the new copper O-rings. All the nuts for holding the injectors are torqued to 9 Newton meters with brand new nuts for them. And what else? Yeah, Mehmet decided to change. Yeah, right now I'm not going to be able to show you because it's behind this plastic, but the tube.
The old part.
Yeah, let's show the old part. It's here.
Oh, there.
So he changed these both
Both of
valves for the turbochargers. They are both of them are the same. This is the part number which he bought. Yeah, this is it. So he bought 2 of them. As we can see, this is the other one. Interestingly enough, the previous shop he bought 2 of them, but the previous shop installed only 1 of them, because as we can see, this is gearbox which he bought, but the other one is BMW, because we can see from here. Yeah, as we can see here, BMW. So this is original valve, and this is aftermarket one which Mehmet bought, but they changed it only this one. This is they left this one in the original one.
Yeah.
But now we're changing the both of them, so he wants to be sure that the both of them are working properly. And yeah, the new radiator is in place. As I told you guys, the biggest minus is that doesn't have a drain plug down there, as on the newer ones on N57, which pretty interestingly we are doing servicing. We are doing a service on the cooling system on this N57, and this N57 came with a cooling system issue. Let me show you what you guys going to have problem with in the next few years, most of you probably. This flange which is sitting, let me show you on N57 where it sits, which we change actually. So this flange here, which we change, and just few words, if you're changing this, go with original one, because it's in a really tough place to change it, and if it fails, you're going to get stranded. So pretty much this sits right here on the N57, and it failed. So yeah, this is the part which will be a really common issue on the next generation BMWs N57, which right now this car has issue with, and as I told you, not sure are we going to be able to show you, but right here. So yeah, this is going to be the flange which is going to fail really commonly at these newer generation engines, and it was just interesting coincidence.
Coincidence, yeah.
Coincidence. I just wanted to show you this is going to be really common issues on these engines. So pretty much tomorrow we're going to start up the car. We're going to do some test driving. After that we're going to come back and see are we have some issues. By issues I mean some leakage from somewhere, hopefully not. And yeah, this is it for now, and see you tomorrow, or for you after a second. So okay, the EGR core is installed. As you can see the plug here, which is going to block the exhaust gases, and everything about the coolant system is connected. So the only thing that it left is to fill up the system with coolant. Mehmet, the owner, have bought a brand new cap for the coolant reservoir, which is not a bad idea, of course. And yeah, the only thing that it left is to install the intake manifold, which is cleaned, and we have installed brand new gasket, and this is the EGR delete sleeve, or how to call it, pipe. And yeah, pretty much everything is set up to be installed. We have removed this vacuum hose because he's not using his swirl flaps, and we just put it a bolt here because it's much more simpler like that, especially for removing the intake manifold, because this is giving you some hard time when you're removing it, and when you're not using it there is no sense of installing it. So pretty much now I'm going to install intake manifold. We have installed the air filter housing and battery that. We have changed most of the vacuum hoses here, all the others looks okay, so for now we are going to leave only with these ones. We are planning to change this one too, but it turns out that this vacuum reservoir has been glued up with something, and I'm a little bit scared of removing it because probably it's going to break down, and for now we are not going to touch it because we are a little bit on a rush. And yeah, the only thing that's left is to install to fill up the engine with engine oil. We're going to use this Moto X Clean Plus, which is specified for BMW engines, and pretty much this is it. After that we're going to heat up the transmission and fill it up with transmission fluid. Okay, so almost ready to start up the car. Everything is assembled, the intake manifolds, the fan, everything. We have changed all the rubber, let's call gaskets or O-rings on the turbo hoses for the intercooler. Yeah, I told you that we didn't change those on the metal hoses for the two turbochargers. Right now we are bleeding the fuel system, and I'm feeling the fuel is going through these holes because we have removed the injectors, of course, and we don't want to start the car with dry high pressure fuel pump. Actually, these fuel pumps are really reliable, and even if you start running if you try to start up the car without any fuel, probably it's not going to cause some problems, but I'm trying to be extra precautious about this. Yeah, and I forgot to plug in this hose with some bolts, so now I'm going to plug it because we have removed the EGR and we are not needing this vacuum hose anymore, so now I'm going to plug it with some bolts probably. But yeah, other than that, we're going to try to start up the car. We have filled the coolant system with fluid. We have put around 7.5 liters of oil, and now Mehmet is going to try to do the first start. He is kind of suspicious.
Me? No. Shall I do it now?
No.
Shall I wait?
At least one more minute. So pretty much we are ready to start up the engine and see how it's going to sound. Probably the first couple of seconds is going to be a little bit wobbly because of the air in the system, but after a few seconds it should smoothen out. So now Mehmet is going to give it a try, and we're going to see how it sounds. Okay, when you are ready, try it.
Ready.
Go. Give it a try once again. Okay, just check for leaks. Yeah, try to start it one more time.
Най-вероятно е имало спрей и направи такъв докато
How it feels inside? Stable?
Yeah, the needle is stable.
It was kind of strange first crank. Probably because of the spray. Because we cleaned up the cylinder head with the spray and probably because of that, not sure. But it sounds nice actually, and even. Actually on most of the times on the lifts, when the car is not on tires, it's a little bit more wobbly. Because you have direct connection to the ground. I have felt most of the time, but the car feels stable, I believe. Yeah. At least the sound of the engine is good. Okay, Mehmet, you can turn it off because we need to top up the transmission and I don't want to overheat it. Okay, after the really strange first crank, which scared me a little bit, probably because it had some brake cleaner in the cylinders, but right now the engine is running smoothly without any issues and it sounds nice. It's time to refuel the transmission because, as we saw, we have changed the transmission oil cooler and probably we have dropped down a little bit the level. So right now Mehmet is inside the car and we are waiting for the transmission temperature to get to around 40 degrees, and after that we're going to fill the transmission from there. So we have 1 liter filled additional oil. Hopefully it's going to be enough. So the gearbox is at 41 degrees, so it should be good to go. Right now Mehmet is going through the gears, parking, reverse, neutral drive, and yeah, after that back to parking and we're going to fill up the gearbox. I'm just waiting for him to say that he's ready with all the gearing, and we're going to see how much it's going to have. Right now we have 2 liter in this, I don't know how to call this, spritz. I'm not sure if spritz the right name. Mehmet, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, I'm going to wait. Okay, release the brake pedal. Okay, wait a minute. So let's see how much it's going to take. We have something to collect the excessive oil. It's getting hot in here.
Сега толкова.
Колко е?
Да знам.
Сигурно си я вкарал хубаво.
Толкова, много повече.
Да, почва взема, бе.
Да, тръгна.
Okay, I guess liter was enough. Yeah. This is how it should be flooring. Before you install once again the fuel plug, this is how it should look like. Really messy job, but this is how it is. It's going to be much more easier if the exhaust was not here. Yeah. Sometimes this happens. Not big of a deal. The gasket? Okay, Mehmet, you can turn it off. Just 1 minute to retighten the pocket. I'm going to put you back.
Okay.
So pretty much this is the procedure for the right amount of fluid. Actually, it took exactly 1 liter. So we were kind of lucky. I had a little bit more fluid there, but Ahmed took the exact amount of fluid, and as we saw, we had a little bit of oil coming out of the gearbox, so it's at perfect level. It is at perfect level right now. So yeah, pretty much this is it. Now we're going to install the rims. We have installed the aluminium shield, which BMW is stating that you should not drive without this aluminium shield underneath, because it's something like reinforcement underneath, and probably it can make some damage to the front axle without it. So that's why probably BMW recommends to not drive without it. And now we're going to install the rims, and after that we're going to go to wheel alignment. Hopefully it's still going to work, because today is Saturday. It's Saturday today, Mehmet?
Yeah.
Saturday is the right name? Okay. Today is Saturday, so hopefully it's still going to work. And after that we're going to come back and install all the plastic stuff, because we don't have enough time for that right now. Okay, so pretty much we are almost ready with the car. Some final touches. Right now we're going to adjust the handbrake. The procedure is kind of picky to record it right now, and the most important thing is the sticker on the window. Yeah, Mehmet has one of it, finally. So we have adjusted the handbrake. We have followed the BMW recommended procedure, but it wasn't enough, and we needed to retighten it a little bit more than the suggested. So doesn't matter. Right now the handbrake is working as it should be. It is tight as I like it. So pretty much I believe the car is ready. Mehmet can continue with his journey. He is going right now directly to Ankara. And hopefully it's going to be without any issues, because he have done a proper servicing, and as we can see we have used pretty much all of the parts which were here. Yeah, this is not for this car, this is for a Hyundai.
If you get the phone call in a couple of hours, then you'll know.
Okay, so pretty much everything is installed. What was this? Just specs. So yeah, everything should be fine. We go through the alignment. Everything is in green as I filmed. You're going to quickly see that. And pretty much Mehmet, it was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
So yeah, probably guys.
Gotta find an excuse to come again.
Yeah, probably for the timing change up.
Yeah, maybe time.
Pretty much it was a long week. We have done a lot of job over the car, but in the end I believe it turned out to be kind of how you call it, prevention repairs.
Preventive repairs.
Yeah,
and some were necessary also.
Yeah. So some of them was necessary, some was preventive. We had some issues with the coolant lines, but not big of a deal. And yeah, the suspension is really stiff, and I feel it really nice. At least most of the people with E60 like these cars to be soft like boats, but I like the car to be more sporty, so I like how the car feels in the road. I like it to be more stiff, and especially with these seats, which are really comfortable. It's not big of a deal in my opinion. Doesn't matter, he's using that sport suspension and the power flex rear bushings. So yeah, pretty much we're going to end up the video here with all of this servicing, and maybe after a year, or we're going to see when, Mehmet going to be once again in our shop and we're going to do something else with his car. We're going to see. So okay guys, see you in the next video. So after how many time?
4 weeks.
After 4 weeks,
Yeah.
Ahmed is once again in the shop.
Yeah.
Because we figured out some things. We're going to start with these hoses, which were too how it's
Short.
called? It was too short.
Yeah.
So we were starting thinking what is wrong with it, and if we need to buy it from E70. But from E70 actually, this smaller hose came from the radiator, not from the hose itself.
Yeah.
So the only thing which we came with is that this hose was not original one, it's aftermarket, and it was Gates.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Gates.
Yeah.
So we decided to buy a brand new OEM hose. Once again the same hose, but OEM. So to compare it, I forget to film the comparison, but just to show you in the car right now, if you remember previously, it was impossible to fit the hose in this bracket, this plastic bracket, and right now it fits right as it should be.
And
so
it's not tensed.
yeah,
Stretched,
and
not
there is
stretched.
no stretch and tension in the hose. So for sure the OEM hose is the right length, and if you want to do it properly on the first time, it's a good idea to buy a OEM hose.
Yeah.
And probably it's going to last for at least 10 years, if not something prematurely happened, but I doubt it's going to happen. But yeah, once again the OEM one is the better solution. So that was the issue with that. That's why it was shorter than it should be. So yeah, if you want to do it right, you should try with something else. If you want to be aftermarket, at least it should not be Gates.
And despite, according to the part numbers and everything, it should fit. But despite the correct
Everything,
part
yeah.
number and correct everything, it doesn't fit
Yeah,
properly.
it's not the right.
No.
So I'm not sure. Probably we're going to throw it away. We're going to see, but it's not a good idea. Yeah, if it's some car that is just for selling or something like that, the owner want to throw it away. Okay, then he can fit it. But
Yeah.
if you want to be something reliable, this is not the way.
No.
And yeah, Ahmed decided to buy a different kit for the EGR delete. As we can see right now, the EGR cooler is right here. Removed with everything, with the bracket which goes to the exhaust manifold and the thermostat housing for the EGR. So this is all removed, and let me show you how it looks in the car. The only thing that's left is these two hoses right here, which right now is blocked. And interestingly enough, some kits came without this turret on it for how to call it?
Bleeding.
Yeah, for air bleeding for the coolant system. But this one has with O-ring here, so it's for easier bleeding the system. Actually these systems are bleeding by themselves, but it's a cool feature. So we're going to leave it like that. Probably yeah, it's one more point which can fail, but I doubt it's going to fail, and it's really easy to check it is everything's okay. In the worst case scenario, you can weld up this cap over here, so to be sure that it's not going to leak, but it's really easy to check is everything okay. And the other blocked hose is down here, which once again, this is the intake and this is the This is the inlet and this is the exit of the coolant from the EGR core. And yeah, we have, yes, now right now it's going to be impossible to show you, but we have a blank plate on the exhaust manifold. So this is the proper way to remove your EGR. Yeah, of course you're going to need this pipe without any attachment to it, because the original has attachment point for the EGR pipe. And yeah, I believe this is the only way to go if you want to do it properly. And what else?
Yeah.
This is it, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we're just going to start up the car. We're going to see, are we going to need to add a little bit more coolant, but other than this was the small things which we needed to update.
Exactly.